So this is the move of Orchard House, which is the acute adult inpatient mental health unit, to Orchard Ward, which is the refurbished ward within Clinique Pinel. And Clinique Pinel will have 2 wards within it. Orchard Ward, which is for working age adults predominantly from 18 to 65, although occasionally we will admit people from 16 to 18, and occasionally people will be over 65 on the acute adult ward. And then upstairs is Cedar Ward, which is the older people's functional mental health ward, which means that it's for people with illnesses like depression, schizophrenia, manic depression, not dementia particularly. So one of the biggest differences is that the environment in Clinique Pinel allows us to separate out corridors, which means that if we have young people in hospital, for example, or we have women who want a women-only space, so not just their bedrooms, but access to women-only lounges, etc., or we have people who need to be nursed away from other people for periods of time, the environment allows us to do that in a much more fluid way. So it means that we'll be able to keep people safer and meet some of their privacy and dignity needs whilst maintaining the bed numbers that we have today. So I think the first was that we made some design changes when I first arrived. There was some difference of view about the best layout of the ward and what should and shouldn't be where, and we made some changes to the plan, and I think that certainly slowed things up. Then throughout the project, I understand there have been periods of time when it's been hard to access labour, and consequently that's caused the work to take longer than it might have done. The building has had an operating ward within it all the time that the work's being done. So the patients on Cedar Ward have been moved upstairs and then downstairs and upstairs again. And that certainly made some of the work slower than it might otherwise have taken. And then latterly we had some work to do around the fire doors and around anti-ligature kit, making sure that the ward was safe, and that's been the cause of the most recent delay. But we're there at last, and at the end of next week we'll be moving in.
I'm Patricia Winchester, the independent mental health advocate for Orchard House. This is a complete conversion of an old building, so it's not perfect, but it is an awful lot better than what we have at the moment. This is bright and spacious. There are purpose-designed areas for activities. Every patient will have their own bedroom en suite. There are separate areas for males and females, which is something that sometimes can be quite important. Very importantly, there are separate areas for younger people, so if the ward admits people under 18, they can be kept in a separate area to all the adults, which is a very good thing. And I think the other very important facility that we have now is a suite where the police can bring people who need to be assessed for detention, which has some privacy and space, again, rather than taking people into the accident and emergency department. On the whole, the building provides a lot more privacy, a lot more dignity for patients themselves, more space, and is in general, a far more therapeutic environment. Well, I've been pushing for probably 15 years for a new ward, because clearly when we moved to Orchard House, it wasn't up to standard and it really needed changing. So I've been pushing politicians, pushing directors of mental health. That's not to say it's not been an open door, but it's taken a long time to get here. And my role really is to ensure that patients' views and concerns are taken into account. And for this ward, I think they have been.
So it must be really exciting to have it.
It is.
Ready to go?
It is. I'd have liked to have had this a couple of years ago, but we are where we are, and I think it's going to make a big improvement to the lives and recovery of patients that unfortunately need to use the unit.